look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a
Welcome back
tear.
to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest Podcast. Yo. If this is your first time joining us, we are four brothers from the middle of the neighborhood. Usually, A-Dub's not with us today, but four brothers from the middle of the neighborhood of Gary, Indiana, come together to converse about this thing called life. One of these days, we're going to find the actual theme for this podcast. But until then, you're just going to enjoy us talk about the myriad of things that we go through on a daily basis. No matter where the conversation goes, we pride ourselves on those three principles: being forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, being motherfucking honest. We got Josh on the mic. I'm glad to be back. It's been 2 weeks. We didn't record last week, and the week before that, I was fresh off the operating table and in Puerto Rico 4 days later. Then we got Adam.
Adam's here on the microphone as well.
Mike Griffo. And we got Marco.
What's up? Check. Checking the mic.
So yeah, like I was saying, a lot of things have kind of happened to me. I got surgery, which I've been trying to get some clear of for the last 6 months. Had two hernias, and got those cleared out. And then I got to tell you, the day after the anesthesia wore off was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. They had to go in through my stomach, and dance is a very abdomen heavy art.
Yeah.
And so
core strength.
That core strength, the core usage is ample. And I knew, but I didn't realize until you try to move whatsoever, especially sitting up out of bed. And I coughed at one point, and then I cried for like 10 minutes because the pain was just absolutely ridiculous. But I still didn't take my opioids, and so that's my center of pride right there. So
that is a great story.
Yeah,
but it's also a great segue, and I don't want to gloss over your
no,
story.
by all means, go ahead.
but so I watched this show on Hulu called Dope Sick.
Oh yeah.
With Michael Keaton, and Rosario Dawson. It's a good cast actually. I mean, I think Michael Keaton every 3 or 4 years he comes out and just kills it on something, and this was that for me.
Yeah, I love it.
It's good. I know in the past, like I've been, I guess you could say harsh. You could say harsh-ish on it as far as the opioid crisis, because a lot of times I'll compare it to the crack epidemic.
Yeah,
and the idea, it's not even an idea, it's the truth, like, but during those times, a lot of people didn't really care that the Black community across the country was going through that. But then fast forward, maybe 10, 15 years, their thing kicks off, and now suddenly, and for me, I didn't realize how involved and of course I know this show is Hollywood, I'm sure everything isn't, but I guess I didn't realize how involved the company itself was with the whole thing. Like I thought what it was before doing my research, and that's on me, but I thought it was essentially a drug was made, it was out there, people started abusing it, and then people got hooked on it. I didn't realize the company itself was trying to get people hooked on it, and that was their mission, was like, let's get people hooked on it. And then they started talking about making the stuff for kids, and it's like, I guess that opened my eyes. I mean, I always knew that corporations could be evil. I mean, we knew that, but I mean, just seeing it play out like that was like, I mean, they were just blatant. It was like,
yeah,
it's a great show.
I've been meaning to check it out, but it's funny you say like the evidence and how differently treated the two eras are.
Yeah.
It, we talk about words a lot and how words matter. Just even the referencing of them, it's the crack epidemic and it's the AIDS crisis.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so like it's like everything is always so layered to create some different dimension of sympathy toward one over the other. And so
is it an opioid crisis?
I would say it's an opioid crisis.
Is an opioid? You gotta come up with something real snazzy like or something like that.
Because I mean, opioid crisis is I'd say opioid epidemic rather, just because, or the crack crisis. I don't know, crack crisis.
That makes it sound less serious to me for some reason. It sounds like a TV show, like
crack crisis.
Yeah, sound less serious.
But it's always that thing of like in the crack era, people got blamed for it, as if crack just showed up and like, oh, they should know better, yada yada yada. But in this opioid thing, I'm like, doctors are just given this. Now, granted, the pain that I felt, horrific, horrible pain. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I used to say that about like food poisoning, being able to throw up and shit volumes and simultaneously. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I would give that to my mother before I wish that pain on anyone else. Because that it was horrible. But I'm just glad it only the worst of it only lasted for that day.
That's good.
Because I was clear, like, if this shit lasts more than the day, I could die now. Fuck everything. We ain't gotta continue this shit at all.
Makes you wonder how people, in the hospital, in these facilities, in a lot of pain. But I just thought like they're very doped up. Like,
yeah,
the pain is crazy, but that's just what they do. They make a lot of money off of it too.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was gonna say just one more detail that you wouldn't expect was the doctors that, and at least initially, the doctors that were prescribing it, they thought it was legit too, because what Purdue had done was they had fudged their charts and graphs to make it look like it was less addictive than other pills in the past. And even the FDA had actually not approved it, but Purdue said, we don't care, we're going to use it anyway. So their salespeople were going all across the country showing doctors these false charts. And based on that, doctors like, it must be safe. So they were, and then fast forward 5-7 years, they're like, what did we do? And now it's too late. And it's like they were just blatant with it. And of course they got fined, but I mean, they were still able to do business.
I wonder, I like that mental crossroads where I'm like, because this is a dramatization, I wonder how much of this is hyperbolic.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't care, because corporations are fucking evil. And so if this was like completely accurate, I also would not be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. The cool thing about it is at the end, they do include like real clips from, like, I guess, protests that had happened and them going to court and testifying in Congress and stuff like that. I guess I was thinking this the other day. Like, is it a spoiler if this is based on real events? Can you spoil a show that's based on is like a real thing?
Yes and no. Only because you're like, if I'm just telling you about the real life events, then sure. That's almost like somebody like, oh, I'm not gonna watch a movie about Troy because I know about the goddamn horse. Like, okay, sure.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. So this company produced. So they were fined initially like $600 million, which was nothing compared to the money they had.
How much money they made? Yeah.
So that was a slap on the wrist, and they were able to keep going. But then fast forward to like, I guess like just a few years ago, like 2019, I guess they were fined again, like $5 billion, and that was a hit. And of course, I think maybe a couple people went to jail, or so like the second time around, they actually got a good punch. But I mean, how many people died though since in those 20 years though?
Right.
So it's kind of like, but yeah.
I don't know. I have so many issues with the justice system as far as like how anyone gets punished for certain crimes. In that same way that I'm like, every time I look up at the IRS and I'm like, why the fuck y'all coming after me? I'm broke. Like I should not be the pursuit in my funky little 5-figure annual income. But then I don't know, it's just easy to come after us because we don't really know law, and law is not really designed for people that are tier in the economy, I guess.
And we can't, like, people with a certain amount of money, they can afford to defend themselves and like get out of stuff. You know, because they like, we've all seen TV shows and someone says, I'm gonna tell my lawyer or something like that. Like these are people that just have a lawyer.
They have lawyers.
Like,
yes.
like the same way a person could may have a doctor or a certain dentist that they go to. Well, these people have a lawyer that they see on like a weekly basis for whatever reason. It's like, so like when you get to that level, I guess it's like you could literally be a criminal, but just continuously get away with it because your lawyer knows all the loopholes and how to get you out of stuff. It's like,
yeah. The thing I always wonder is like, why, even when they try to act like it's a pedestrian that just has a lawyer friend, I'm like, why is your lawyer friend always the exact kind of lawyer you need?
Oh yeah.
Like it's I got people that are lawyers, but like, oh yeah, I'm a real estate lawyer, so they can't help me with some actual personal shit if someone did me wrong, unless it has to do with real estate.
If I go and murder somebody, you're not gonna be able to
right. Like you don't know that kind of law. We just act like, go ahead,
you
Michael.
get that, you gotta have a lawyer for every situation.
Yep.
True.
A team
of lawyers.
Yep.
It should always fucking trips me up. But speaking of lawyers and law, I was kind of talking about this before the podcast started. Marco, I don't know if you've been have you been keeping up with the proceedings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson?
Yeah, I heard a lot of talks about how they were interrogating her and stuff.
We can't call it interrogations just because it would need to be questions that fucking mattered. It was so asinine. The what's my favorite word? The interrogatives being proposed.
I was bad for her to ask them questions afterwards. Like, got a whole bunch of questions for y'all, and I want them to do this. Take questions just like every other show, YouTube, whatever. Take questions from real people. Like, that's who we want to ask the question.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I see the value in what they were trying to do, but it just didn't. I'm sure y'all would agree. Like, it just didn't seem like it was for educational purposes. It seemed like they tried to find something to embarrass her or just call her out on.
Well, here's the thing. What it appeared to be. Now, I'm saying this watching clips. I did not watch all 48 hours of proceedings because no.
I saw a small clip, so I whole thing.
So can my opinion be biased in that way? Absolutely, but sure, I'm not watching 12 hours per day of these proceedings. my thing is this: questions from real people could be valid, but also that shit could go, far.
I mean, of course, you gotta filter. Like people gonna come in talking about dicks and stuff, and
Well, no, I mean, like in the same. I don't think honestly, depending on what the vetting process would have been for questions from the public, would have been that different than what was asked, because they could not they couldn't attack her credentials because she's more qualified than literally every person currently on the Supreme Court. There's a woman on the Supreme Court with a degree in home ec. That is her top degree, home ec, and she's on the Supreme Court. But they're questioning this person who was magna cum laude from Harvard or whatever, and yada yada yada. So asking questions about anti-racist babies and what your religious practices are, what your views on CRT are, and all of that kind of stuff. And you got to go, none of this has to do with sentencing. And her being great about going, what my personal beliefs are relevant, because my whole job is to separate my personal beliefs from what the law is.
I think they may have been trying to get the people.
They're trying to sway some public opinion, sure.
Yeah, but like what? This is my question about like Trump and these people who act like they are patriots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They always try to incite the wrong crowd. Like what is almost obvious who y'all are talking to.
It ain't almost obvious. It's very obvious.
It's kind of sick, man.
It used to be a dog whistle, but now it's just a straight up. They're just turning and we're talking to like these are who we're talking like we're talking to the yeah, like it was so crazy. It's like you mentioned her background, her credentials, and like when you think about it, and we know this already, but it seems like if you look at every black politician, if you look at a lot of black politicians like in DC, like federal, they're all like that. They have all of these crazy credentials and degrees and but then you look at people like Trump. I mean, he probably went to an Ivy League school, but strictly because of money. I doubt his education. I doubt he went there because he was a scholar. And then I think they said like George Bush, like notoriously was like a C student in college, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you look at Obama. This dude, he was like top of his class in Harvard. Then he went to Princeton and was like president of the law, something. Like you got to do all of this crazy stuff to even compete with average, average people. It's crazy.
I mean, hell, Michelle had 2 major degrees.
Yep.
And people were acting like she was.
Yeah, she was a lawyer before all this. Like Barack was her I'm pretty sure he was like her intern at some point. Like that's how they met. Like he was working for her or something like that.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta go above and beyond to destroy all doubt. Even then, you see how she got questioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Even Ben Carson. I don't like Ben Carson, but this dude was supposed one of the greatest surgeons of all times just to be the HUD secretary for Donald Trump. I mean, that's kind of like
made no sense.
Yeah, you would have thought he would have been like the general surgeon or the
surgeon general.
Surgeon, yeah. You would have thought he would have been that, but he couldn't even get that. It's like it's like you got to be super. And I'm not saying he was qualified to be HUD in the first place.
No, he wasn't.
But I'm saying he had to be the greatest at something to be something, for Donald Trump of all people.
But if you ever want to just lose 90 to 100 minutes of your life for no real reason at all, go look up the biopic of Ben Carson played by Cuba Gooding Jr. entitled Good Hands, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it's called, right? She got headphones in. She's not listening.
I think. Did you see that?
Huh?
What's the one with Most Def? The
Biopic?
movie with he is he's basically a helper for like this scientist, but he ends up like discovering or like figuring out like we watched it at school actually. I like vaguely remember it, but
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
It's a pretty good movie, man.
Well, this movie that I'm referring to, it's not. It's not a good movie.
I feel like we saw that one in school. Is it older?
Yeah.
I thought that's what that Most Def movie was called.
No, he wasn't in this.
You would have known probably.
Yeah, I would remember that, but he does have 48 movie credits though. I didn't even realize it was that many.
Most Def?
Yeah.
Shout out to Percy Julian, man.
Percy Julian?
Yeah, you know Percy Julian? He was
not by that name.
Huh?
I said not by that name.
Wait, what is it?
No, who was Percy Julian?
Oh, okay.
That's I was like, I don't. Maybe I do. I just think they have an alias. I don't know. Because we're talking about Mos Def, aka Yasin Bey, Dante Smith. That's what I'm like. My man got names on names on names.
I'm drawing a parallel. It was this is a black scientist. I'm trying to remember like the time frame, but back when they didn't allow black people to do anything.
1997.
He pioneered a lot of scientific discoveries, and he actually.
I think I know who you're talking about. Like, was this like the 70s?
No, it was before that.
Okay, okay, never mind.
So he went around and they, white people wouldn't let him lead any department. So he actually made a lot of money at DuPont. And he actually discovered how to synthesize hormone pills. And he actually he created a lot of stuff. Like he got patents on a lot of things.
Oh, sure.
People need to look.
You said Percy Thomas?
Percy Julian.
Percy Julian.
He's actually has like because he was studying there at one point.
You went out for a second studying where?
At DuPont.
At DuPont. DePaul or DuPont?
DePaul.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I was saying DuPont, but I was like, because he had worked for DuPont also, and it was like he did a lot, man.
Percy Julian, we gotta look him up.
I'm looking at him. He was he actually died in Waukegan, Illinois.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was local at some point.
To trail back for a second, the movie y'all were thinking of is Something the Lord Made.
Oh, okay.
But no, this movie Good Hands is about Ben Carson, and he's being played by Cuba Gooding Jr. And wow. Oh, now you're listening. Sorry, I'm talking to my girl, and she knows that I was so angry at the end of that movie because I'm like, why the fuck did we do that? And I enjoy bad movies sometimes, but holy shit. It's huh?
Good Hands?
Yeah, Good Hands.
I can't help but think about the Allstate commercial, dude.
Yeah,
I can't stop thinking about it. Every time you say that, I just think of one of those.
See, that shows the difference in our brands. Because y'all think about Allstate because you're wholesome and shit. I'm thinking about this barbershop on the north side called Good Head.
Wait, what?
There's a barbershop on the north side of Chicago called Good Head.
They didn't think that one through, or maybe they
I,
did.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fucking priceless. Oh shit! Did Marcus freeze? I just realized he has. Oh yeah, he's going in and out. But yo, what else? Yeah, I just this. I don't know. I had a point about the overqualification of Black folks, but it's gone. Excuse me.
It still exists.
What you say, Marco?
It exists somewhere.
Oh, yeah. it's just not gonna be present right now. What else is going on? Oh, I caught up on Bel Air, which I'm actually thoroughly enjoying. I don't know why people are ragging on it so hard.
Yeah, you know what? I saw the first episode and I was actually impressed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but so far, everybody I've seen has liked it so far. I haven't seen anyone not like it, which I'm actually surprised about.
I've been hearing mixed reviews overall. But some people being like, "Oh, it's cool." Some people being like, "I don't really care for anybody. The show wouldn't be good if it wasn't for Carlton." And I'm like, "Nah, if you let the art exist as itself, as opposed to trying to compare it to the old sitcom, then it really is like quality, in my opinion. I think they keep enough Easter eggs about the original series in there that you still get to feel some kind of nostalgia from it. They made good strategic updates from being in the 90s to being now, some odd 20, 30 years later. I appreciate that there's some color continuity between the family. That they well, me and my girl were talking about is like how back in the day, if you get one light-skinned parent, one dark-skinned parent, then you can kind of go through a spectrum with the kids. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily mean that them kids actually look like their siblings, which was not the case for them whatsoever in the original cast. And in this cast, they don't really look like their siblings, especially because the dude playing Carson is clearly African. This nigga is African as shit. Just because one, regular Black Americans don't get that kind of black. This is gorgeous, kind of like deep 90% cacao black. And he got the whole, his hairline starting the back of his head shit. Like, that nigga's African. We not gonna act like that nigga's not African. While the rest of y'all are like, huh?
Nigerian?
Maybe. Probably. Either Nigerian or Ghanaian, one of them.
Reveal. That's like a reveal at the end of the season, man.
That Carlton ain't really their kid. But I think that. I'm sorry, Marco. Go ahead.
No, I just said like he just come out like, I'm Nigerian. Taking some scripture.
But yeah, I think all the rewrites are really cool. The character development for a lot of them is cool. The cats they got playing the Philly gangsters are corny. I'm not gonna act like them niggas are not corny. They corny as shit. Like I didn't believe them at all. Nigga blowing smoke into the phone like I found you, little cocky ass nigga. Like, stop it. Let's convince him to.
See, I only saw the first episode, so I just saw him like pull off on the 4-wheeler. I'm like, okay, that's authentic. They do that.
Sure.
What did you have for this?
I mean, in that first episode, they're like, what Philly slang do we know? John, Bull, let's say these things way too much. But I don't know. I like the show. And I got to watch the first episode of that show we talked about before, Bust Down. because I wanted to. Apparently, it's based in Hammond.
Okay.
I guess they like work at the Horseshoe or something.
Yeah, I guess I heard it was based in Gary, and they're working at a casino. So I'm assuming, of course, they're not gonna say the casino itself, but
Right.
but the idea that it's casinos out here.
I mean, okay, I don't know that it's. I mean, I guess saying based in Gary or Hammond is pretty much the same thing. Because I'm like, only I don't remember where Sam J is from. I know Chris Redd is from Chicago, and Freddie is there, highly overacting, which is to be expected. But it's cool. It's a solid cast. Sam J, Chris Redd, Jack Knight, and the dude that played Adam Bethune on Southside. Forget his name. Like Jonathan, I think.
I haven't watched it yet.
Cast. It's okay. It's pretty. The first episode was pretty funny. I'll keep watching it. But yeah, what's been in y'all purview?
Well, let's see. Like I said, Dope Sick I just finished.
Right.
Also, there's another show that I'm just like amazed by. And it's based on real life. It's called. It's that F1 show. It's like I forgot driving.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I can't think of what it's called. But it's F1 something driving for
Formula One show. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what it's actually called, but if you were interested, if you type in F1, it would probably pop up. But essentially, all it is it covers the
Netflix, right?
Yeah, it covers the previous season of just beginning to end, but they tell it from different teams' perspectives. So like, so one episode might be from the McLaren's team, their team view. So it'll just kind of go over like their season, and it'll like high points of their season, but it's just cool because it gives you like a kind of like a behind the scenes of what's going on in F1 racing. And for me, I've never watched an F1 race in my life, but the show is, for whatever reason, is so interesting to me. I watch all 4 seasons to the point where I'm about to start watching F1 like as soon as I figure out where to stream it, because it's so entertaining. Like I mean, I like cars, and I like so it's not like it's out of left field, but it seems so much more interesting than NASCAR because NASCAR, all the tracks are pretty much just an oval for the most part.
Right.
I mean, but
isn't Formula One a straight shot though?
No, I think that's, I don't know what racing that would be. That's drag racing.
Drag racing. Formula One is like on the mountainside and shit, right?
No, it's just varies. That's the school about it. They race. They every week they're racing somewhere else. So they might be in.
Gotcha.
In Germany, then next week they'll be in somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere. They have 2 races in America. They have one in Texas, one in California. It's just all over. So
okay, isn't that what Lewis Hamilton drives?
Yep.
Formula One.
Yep.
Word.
And the tracks, they're so much more interesting because they're turns, and so like you said, some of them are in the mountains, some of them are in the city, some of them are in the desert. So it's just
like super fast, aren't they? Like going much faster than NASCAR.
Oh yeah, they get up to like the 200s, like
yes, I thought
in no time. It's just like instant. Yeah, it's super dangerous.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's actually last season where Lewis Hamilton there was a car that actually went over his car, and there was actually tire marks on his helmet. And they were saying if it hadn't been, recently they added these like scoops over the helmet for that reason. And they're like, had it not been for that scoop, because the scoop thing had been crushed, but if it wasn't there, that would have been just a straight shot on the top of his head, and he probably would, if not died, probably would have been paralyzed, because that tire would have been the weight of a car just literally
on his head,
smashing on top of his head. But so it's super dangerous, obviously. But these dudes, I mean, they're just fearless, because and then when they're racing, they're going super fast, but they're like inches away from each other.
Yeah,
and it's like your reaction time has to be like on another level, because I don't know, it's super fascinating.
The only one I know besides Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Well, this past season, last year, that was the first year he didn't win the championship in like 7 years.
Oh wow! I thought he like been number one for a while.
Oh, he has. See, he's won them 7 years straight. Last year,
you said that's the first time he hasn't won.
Yeah. The guy from Red Bull, Max Verstappen, he won.
Okay.
He's legit. He's the only dude that can compete with Lewis Hamilton. He's the only person that can actually compete with that dude. He just
Sasha Baron Cohen from
Talladega Nights.
It's a fascinating sport, man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna start following it.
I've been hearing about it last season. Because it's called Formula One Drive to Survive.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been here. I remember people talking about it on other podcasts and other stuff like that last season. And saying how fascinating it was. I meant to check it out.
It's interesting.
So how about you, Marco?
Well, I've been my sister put me onto the show Grand Crew. You seen that?
I have.
It's only one season.
Yeah, it's like currently coming out.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like reminds me of like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but like just the black version.
I can get that.
But it's a little bit more mature, like as far as the content, like what
you think so? I mean, well, mature as in not completely insane, as everybody on Sunday is.
Yeah. It's like they actually be like it's like some type of self realizations and stuff like that.
I can get that.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Okay, I don't even think I heard of this one.
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
And I actually started watching season 2 of The Witcher, but I realized I need to go back and watch the first one.
Me too. Because
it's a long time to come out. So
for me, like towards the end of the first season, I kind of like I don't know if I find myself not paying attention for some reason, and I finished it, but I don't even really remember how it ended. So I need to rewatch the whole thing.
I was enjoying it, but especially the first half of this first season. I agree, but the first episode of the second season was decent. But I still, like I said, I need to go back.
Yeah.
Also, Succession video.
I want to care about the The Witcher more than I do. For whatever reason, I tried so hard, but I kept going. Every episode I have more questions than I came in here with.
Ever played the game?
No, I didn't play the game. That's the other side of it. And part of me was like, maybe I need to go fucking play the game so I can have some kind of context, because I feel like I'm coming into this in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah, see, I didn't know there was a game. So
oh yeah,
maybe that answers my confusion too.
Because they're just everything is just kind of happening as if we're just supposed to know what the fuck is happening.
Okay, and maybe that's why it was hard for me to follow it, because like I said, it was entertaining. I like the fight scenes, and it was entertaining. But at the same time, I just feel like man, like am I missing something here? Like that's what it felt like. So now it makes sense.
It is very entertaining. I think some series is that thing where you waiting for it to drop, like you waiting for the beat to drop almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all laid a nice foundation and got these characters, and okay, now pull it together. Like we trying to understand everything now.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it's like, oh, this series is dope or not.
Yeah. I only because I enjoyed. Oh, my bad. What you saying?
Just like, sometimes the beat never drops in these series.
That was an old Vine that was that used to go what was it? We like soft build-ups and never-ending drops. We like soft build-ups and never-ending like it. It was because that was a big thing in EDM, I guess. Was like we like long build-ups and never we like long build-ups and disappointing drops. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I love world building. If you build the world in a great way Like I don't know if y'all tried that Amazon Prime show, Vox Machina. That's good world building. I'm the biggest advocate of this anime Attack on Titan. Excellent world building. Like I want you to, if you can build the world in a way that lets me latch on, I can really be good with the rest of the show.
I think we
Interesting.
gotta go play Witcher. I wanna hear, because I had The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
I had the third one, but I didn't play it hardcore like that. Well, I'm not like too deep into it, but I want to hear from a person who's really deep into The Witcher to see how they feel about it.
How they feel about the show.
Yeah.
I may have a homie. I can't remember. I was talking to somebody about it, and they were saying the things that they didn't like about it. And I think it was because they did play the game. I can't remember.
How many times does that go good anyway? Like a game
game made into a movie? Oh,
Yeah.
made into a show or a movie? I mean, Double Dragon is a cult classic, but it was a sucky movie. Super Mario Brothers, cult classic, sucky movie.
Let's say not on the strength of the nostalgia of the game, you know. Is it just
a good show or movie? I gotta think about. I'm trying to think of other examples.
Yeah, I don't know that it's ever worked out. Like where it's like, wow, they really nailed that one.
Detective Pikachu was actually pretty entertaining.
I didn't see it.
I mean, it's just Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, but as Pikachu. But
Wow.
and the Puerto Rican dude from the Get Down as the other main person.
Yeah,
it was a
wordsmith.
What'd you say, Marco?
I said that was a decent movie.
Yeah. What other video game movies? Yeah, the ones that's always going to come to me first is Double Dragon and Super Mario Brothers, or as for whatever reason they kept saying it, Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
With John Leguizamo and the dude from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Just realized John Leguizamo was Bruno.
You just realized that?
Yes. Like a few days ago.
That's hilarious. I mean, hey, shout out to Encanto. It's a dope movie and all of that. I don't get why we don't talk about Bruno with such a popular song. I'm gonna just have the controversial opinion about that. It's okay at best. I get what
it's super catchy, right?
Sure.
On top of that, it includes an audience that's otherwise not always represented in these type of movies.
No. I mean, I'm Encanto. I get completely why that's popular. I'm saying how we don't talk about Bruno the song was ruling legitimate streaming charts, and I was like, "What am I missing?"
The power of kids in this.
you know when kids like something and they latch on, they can consume it at an unusual rate. It's
and
like,
then,
how are you still enjoying this?
I think what they try to do is they make it amazing for kids, but they also try to like get the adults
absolutely
bored. So this was one of those movies I feel like that was just like you can see how the kids will latch to it because like the music is pretty good. Like
Lin-Manuel will do Lin-Manuel, sure.
And then I just think this is the type of movie where parents kind of watch it with the kids just as much.
I mean, in my opinion, nobody does it better.
Super burnt.
I don't know that anyone is better at towing the line of make it addicted to kids and make it
Charming to adults.
charming to adults better than Pixar. Pixar and DreamWorks are fucking amazing at the shit. They just made a movie. Huh?
They don't miss. They I don't think they ever make a movie that's like, nah, that wasn't good.
Really? Like Luca was probably the most mid of them that I can think of. But even that had its like endearing moments. They just made a great fucking movie about little girls getting their periods. Like it's
that movie was about the what was it?
Turner Red, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a whole metaphor about helping little girls cope with getting their periods.
I'm glad they made that. I mean, I don't have a daughter or anything, but I just think
it should exist. And they use, of course, they use it catering to an Asian audience. They made it a red panda as opposed to, I mean, it's a red panda. Like, come on now. But like it's a whole thing that I'm like, y'all are fucking brilliant at this shit. Inside Out, fucking brilliant.
How's it going?
We talk about Encanto. We talk about Toy Story.
What's
like
the one that took place in Mexico? Coco,
fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if they include everybody, then it's very profitable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now they could just. Okay, my bad.
I said, like, when they start telling stories of other people, they start realizing how cool, like how interesting other people's cultures are, and other people learn, and it's like inclusion is kind of cool. Like when you do it right and everybody's included. I mean, everyone can benefit from inclusion. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Now I'm gonna make my gripe that I always make. If they could just let niggas be people for a whole fucking movie, then we really be cooking with gas. Now, I just say Turning Red was brilliant and they made the little Asian girl and several Asian people turned into pandas? Yes. Fight for them too. But also, if we could just let motherfuckers be people for a whole movie, that would be great. Or at least human-esque. Like if you could let them just be humanoid beings for the entire fucking movie.
Even the blackest character in Encanto had to talk to animals.
like they just can't do it. Like it's like impossible to just let niggas stay people. But yo, we gonna end it on that because I gotta run. Unless y'all want to stay on. Cool. I gotta run because I gotta hop on to this meeting. And then I gotta go teach and whatnot. So we love y'all. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Right into the email. I'm gonna make these please, but I'm gonna make them fast because Aaron did them, but he did them real soft like. And so I'm here to be the nigga from the University of Phoenix commercial. Like, share, subscribe, hit that noti bell. Adam, throw that noti bell indication on there, please. And gratitude. Huh?
You gotta get it. You gotta get it.
What are you doing? Like you ain't doing nothing better with your life right now. Come on, you sitting there washing dishes, driving to work. You could be tuning in, getting these laughs with us, with the crew. Write us on InforMILLy Honest Podcast at gmail.com. You can hit us on Instagram at InforMILLy Honest. You can hit InforMILLy_HP on Twitter, InforMILLy Honest Podcast on Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, hit that motherfucking noti bell. Rate and review Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We love you. We appreciate you. And all my people, we really do appreciate y'all. If I have one more conversation with a friend that's like, we telling people, rate and review, and he's like, yeah, man, or comment on the Instagram post and whatnot. I literally had a homie. Shout out to Jeffrey. I am saying your name for I hope you listen to this episode too. He was like, yeah, man, you know what? I guess I should write a review, huh? No shit. We keep telling y'all that's how we trying to grow the numbers and all of that. And if you love us, you can help us. You like, oh, maybe because I think it's worth my time, it'll be worth other people's time. And so yeah, I'm not above begging. David Ruffin in this bitch. What do you say, Marco?
We handing out guilt trips.
We handed out guilt trips. Absolutely.
All expenses paid.
All right, y'all. You take care. We love y'all for real, for real. We're joking, but very fucking serious. All right, peace.
Can't look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.